This is Matt, the Australian YouTuber behind Field Days, known for pushing himself into some of the wildest, most minimalistic camping challenges online. But in a video uploaded on October 3rd, 2021, Matt wasn't trying to survive with nothing. He was just looking for a quiet overnight stay. The cave, however, had other plans. After hiking for over 3 hours beneath harsh sun, Matt began wondering if he'd gone the wrong way. But eventually, he spotted what looked like the cave's entrance.
This is it. This is the entrance to the bedroom for the night, and it is not what I expected at all. Hello? Oi! Oh man.
Barely a hole, hidden beneath branches and rocks. A place that was supposed to be a shelter, but would instead leave him fearing the night ahead. He descended a ladder into a vast, dark cavern. Soon, he crawled into a claustrophobic passage deep inside.
It's pretty hard to breathe. It's very humid. The air's like really thick, humid in here. But that hole ain't going. I'm not going down there. If I get stuck, ain't no one pulling me out. So we'll get out of here. We'll keep exploring around. There's a few more holes that I would like to crawl down. Oh, see if we can get. It's not a good start.
But fear of getting wedged inside forced him to turn back. The cave air was thick, stale, pressing against him. Still, curiosity kept pushing him forward until his instincts finally pushed back. Something felt wrong, and minutes later, the cave proved it.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my fucking God. That was the sound.
He froze as goosebumps swept across his skin. He heard something, a metallic rattle echoing through the cave. He tried to reason with himself. Maybe the chain ladder had shifted, maybe an animal, maybe the wind. But then it happened again and again.
You can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even fork up. Holy shit. Oh my fucking God. You must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this is fucked. Holy shit.
The repeated sound was too deliberate, too rhythmic. Matt realized with a sharp jolt that he might not be alone. Not out here, miles from anyone. He decided to investigate, knowing he wouldn't sleep without answers.
That's not normal, dude. Well, I'm freaking out. The only thing it can be, like, this is a public cave. People can come in this cave. The thing that's strange, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Why would anyone come in here? And the chain moved but didn't, like, if you're gonna walk down the chain, it will swing the whole entire way, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna swing, but this isn't swinging. This is just moving, rapidly moving, and stops. It's the third time it's happened now.
He insisted he wasn't convinced anyone was down there, that nothing dangerous could realistically be lurking. But the cave didn't care what he believed. Moments later, Matt appeared on camera. Changed.
I've got my backpack back on, and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound, and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. That sound, it was not normal. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here. Yeah. The bats can listen to this. Just listen for 2 seconds.
Out of breath, shaken, struggling to explain what he'd just experienced. Nearly 2 hours had passed, and in that time, the sounds had only grown stranger, louder, more insistent, echoing from somewhere he couldn't pinpoint.
So this is the ladder that was making the sounds. Now you're trying to tell me that this big ladder, something has to move this. And it has to move it because a rock fell and rolled all the way down here somewhere. So something was moving this chain 3 times in a row. I got no idea what it could have been. Okay, I'm gonna make a decision to stay in here for the whole entire night. If I quit now, I'm gonna be pissed off at myself. I will be really angry. So I'm gonna stay here. I'm just freaking out a little bit because of just I don't know, just because my mate, what he said, and then the sounds and the chain wiggling doesn't make any sense to me at all, but at the same time, it's like, it's not real.
Despite it all, he mustered the courage to stay the night. And to his surprise, nothing returned. No more rattling, no footsteps, no movement. Yet the questions remain unanswered. What moved that heavy chain, deep underground, again and again? What shared that cave with him? Even now, Matt admits he has no rational explanation. So, what do you think that was causing that ladder to rattle so often? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now from Matt's terrifying experience in the depths of a cave, we move on to Sydney, who finds herself questioning the safety of solitude while camping in the quiet woods of Tennessee. Sydney is a solo traveler and creator who documents her life on the road across the United States. Through her self-titled YouTube channel, she shares the honest, unfiltered side of van life, the freedom, the isolation, and the strange beauty that comes with sleeping under the open sky. But during one quiet evening in Tennessee, her peaceful trip to a familiar campsite turned into something far more unsettling, making her question everything she thought she knew about being alone in the woods.
So, I am in the middle of Tennessee. I left Nashville about an hour ago, and I'm making my way to the campsite that I stayed at the very first night that I camped out by myself.
It's early evening when the video begins. Sydney has just left Nashville and is heading back to a small campsite deep in the Tennessee wilderness, the same spot where she first camped alone at the beginning of her journey. It's a place that feels familiar, even safe. The road narrows to a single lane as she talks to the camera, recounting her plans for the week ahead. Some simple errands, the next few states she'll cross. It's an ordinary travel day, peaceful and calm, and the stillness of the evening only adds to that sense of quiet expectation.
This looks a lot different than the last time I came down here. There's nobody here. I'm gonna get out and take a gander and make sure everything's like safe, and I might drive down there, but I might take the top spot too. I don't know yet. Yeah, I think I'm gonna come down to this spot. I'm so glad it's open.
When she arrives, the campsite is completely empty. Just her, the trees, and the soft sound of running water nearby. For a solo traveler, it's perfect, or at least it seems that way. She sets up camp, talks to her viewers, and starts preparing dinner. Everything feels calm, almost meditative, as she enjoys the peace of the wilderness. But that tranquility doesn't last long.
What is that?
A noise drifts through the trees, distant at first, but close enough to freeze her mid-sentence. The rustling sound continues, each new noise sharper than the last. Then, nothing. The silence returns. For a few seconds, she just listens. The woods are completely still again, but the unease lingers. She laughs nervously, brushing it off as a deer or maybe a coyote. But her expression betrays her. Whatever that was, it was different. She'd never heard anything like it before. Her instinct kicks in, and she pulls out her gun, loading it just in case things were to take a turn for the worse. She begins packing up quietly, moving her dishes, food, and gear closer to the car. If something happens, she wants to be ready to leave in an instant.
I packed all my stuff up so that if I do need to like just close this, I I only have this to move, but what if it was Bigfoot and that was like a deer that he was eating and it was like making noises because the deer is scared? That was so weird. I heard it move too. It like moved from like there to over there.
The rest of the night, she tries to stay calm. She eats, films a few more clips, and talks about what she heard, part joking, part uneasy. Maybe it was an animal, she says. Maybe Bigfoot. Maybe nothing at all. But even as she crawls into bed hours later, the tension still hasn't left her. The sound that disrupted her evening never reappeared, but something about the night feels different. The camera fades to black, and the next morning's clip shows her smiling again, tired but relieved. She's ready to leave the campsite behind. But the unease stays with her. Whatever made that noise never appeared on camera, but the feeling of something lurking in the trees didn't fade. A reminder that the quietest forests often hide the strangest things. So, now I'm curious. What do you think was crashing through those woods? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Leaving this story with unanswered questions, we head to Tucker, who finds himself in a situation that took even a darker turn. Tucker Upper is known for exploring forgotten places and searching for unusual finds, sunken objects, lost gear, discarded treasures. But during one routine filming day in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, he stumbled onto something far more serious. A car, fully submerged in a lake. A discovery that would trigger a police response he never imagined.
How did a car get in here? Holy You are absolutely kidding me that I just found this. There's no way. Super gnarly story. Basically, I was out in the woods yesterday at this lake and I stumbled upon the craziest thing I ever seen just in a lake in the Pine Barrens in my life.
The video begins with Tucker explaining the bizarre find he made the day before. The car resting beneath clear water, its shape barely visible. He promised viewers he'd return to investigate.
So here we are today at this lake in the Pine Barrens. As you can see, it's pretty early in the day. Just from the sun behind me. But check this lake out, right? To be honest, you can't even see anything weird going on right now. But this is probably the craziest thing I've ever stumbled upon across just out filming. And literally yesterday I came here. I honestly have no idea why I came up to here. I just kind of walked up to the lake here, and what do I see? There is a car completely submerged in the lake.
When he arrived, the car was exactly where he'd seen it. Undisturbed, license plate still attached. And that was the detail that struck him most. Because if someone had purposely dumped the vehicle, leaving the plate on made no sense at all.
I have to report it. Like, I can't just leave it here without saying anything. That's crazy. Not only is it just suspicious as shit, it's a full-blown environmental hazard. You literally can't see it at all right now. I can just see the license plate because I know where it is. Suspicious to me, though, that if somebody accidentally did this, it's just suspicious to me that anybody would leave a license plate on a car that they ditched in a lake in the Pine Barrens, where this is like a protected area too. So like, they're definitely gonna get charged with like abandonment. Probably pay a hefty fine, honestly. But...
Communication.
Hey, how are you? So there's like a lake where meets the other road. They call it like
911, where's emergency?
Hey, this is not an emergency. I was told to call from EHT dispatcher so that they could get the location of where I am, basically. Yesterday, and I was literally just walking in the woods and I was filming in the lake and I saw a car in the lake, literally. I had to report it, though. There's nothing else I can do. I'm just trying to do the right thing.
Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Tucker called the police. It didn't take long for things to escalate. Soon the lake was surrounded by divers, officers, and even a crane truck. A full-scale operation unfolding around a discovery he'd made by complete accident.
This is unreal. Holy shit. I didn't expect this many people to come here.
I didn't either.
They got serious, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're gonna have battlings pull it out.
Is that the towing company?
Yeah.
So this is not the first time this happened.
Nah.
Obviously that was the first police officer that was on the scene when I first found the car. And then now there's like 70 people here. And they're gonna bring a full-blown crane truck back here. I'm just gonna stay off to the side and try and get some footage. But basically the police officer just said stay out of the way. Obviously still in the water. And there's about 60 people. This is a freaking huge operation. This is a massive, really, really big deal.
Standing off to the side, Tucker filmed the scene, stunned by how quickly it had turned into something far bigger than a simple abandoned car. Whatever this was, authorities were treating it seriously.
The problem is on the text message, they don't give you the address to give us.
He captured the final moments as crews lifted the vehicle from the water, a slow, heavy rise from the depths. Later, Tucker learned the truth. The car had been stolen and dumped. Luckily, there were no bodies, no missing persons, no tragedy buried beneath the surface. But the experience left him shaken, a reminder that sometimes wandering into the right place at the right time uncovers far more than forgotten objects. Now, while Tucker's discovery in the water brings a chilling sense of reality, this next encounter brings an unnerving reminder that danger can come in many forms, especially when least expected. Todd Champion is the creator behind the YouTube channel Campin' with Champion, where he shares his adventures in nature, setting up camp in some of the most unexpected places you can imagine. Todd doesn't claim to be a professional. He's just someone who loves the thrill of blending into nature, embracing the solitude, and making each camping experience an adventure. His approach is laid back and carefree, until one particular night when everything would change. On this night, Todd's flawless streak of stealth camping would be shattered, and he would find himself in a situation far more unsettling than anything he'd ever encountered before. It was August 30th, 2025, and Todd had located a small hideaway just off the highway, nestled between a cluster of trees that would provide just enough cover for a quiet, undisturbed night. But before settling in, he needed to ensure that no one else was nearby. So, he dropped his backpack off at the spot, hopped on his scooter, and set off to scout the area. He circled the area for hours, observing, keeping an eye out for any signs of other campers or anyone who might cause trouble. As the day turned to night, Todd still hadn't seen a soul. Confident that the area was safe, he returned to his camp, feeling at ease and ready for a peaceful night ahead.
I am back in my spot. Oh my gosh. Thought I saw someone. I'm back in my spot. That same guy that I saw earlier when I went to check the dumpsters was back again. I was just trying to get some cool shots riding the scooter or whatever, and he just popped up out of nowhere. And then he started asking me he's like, do you need me to help you film or something like that? Did I want him to hold the camera or something? I was like, no, I'm good. Then he was like, where are you camping at? And I was just like, just down the road. I shouldn't even have said that much, and then he asked me if I wanted someone else to camp with you. What? Dude. What the crap? That was nuts.
But when Todd returned to his camp, something was wrong. He immediately realized he wasn't alone. Someone had passed by his camp while he was gone. And this wasn't just anyone. The stranger's behavior was strange, erratic even, and Todd could feel an unsettling presence lingering in the air. But Todd had been stealth camping for years and had learned to stay calm in strange situations. He laughed nervously to himself, trying to shake off the odd encounter. He carried on with his routine, setting up his camp as planned. Once everything was in place, Todd prepared a simple meal, a bacon cheeseburger and sweet corn soda, the kind of comfort food that always set the tone for a good night of camping. Yet, even as he cooked, Todd couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. His eyes darted left and right, scanning the trees, his posture tense. It was as though a part of him knew the night wasn't over yet.
I'm gonna finish eating, then we'll read comments from last week's video. That guy's back. You hungry?
No.
I got a sandwich here.
I will just walk around until daylight.
Really?
I'm out 5 times in my life. I've been stabbed, I've been hanged 3 times. Each time they hang me for about dead and I catch the road.
Yeah.
And he was right. Before he could even finish eating, the stranger returned. The man crawled into Todd's hidden campsite, slipping through the entrance on his hands and knees, as if he knew exactly where Todd had set up. But this time, the situation was far more disturbing. The man began to speak, rambling about dying multiple times, about bizarre experiences, and things that made no sense. The words came out jumbled and disconnected, as though they weren't grounded in any reality Todd recognized. Todd's instincts kicked in. Without a second thought, he quietly reached for his knife, slipping it into his hand, keeping it hidden but ready in case things took a dangerous turn.
Any kids or anything?
I got 4 kids.
How old?
Twin boys, 13, 2 girls, 16 and 15.
I got 2 boys.
Well, don't miss the little things in life. I'm just them growing up, man.
Yeah.
I miss mine.
I used to be a truck driver and I quit because my kids were little. Trying to do this, maybe I can do something better, you know.
Did you someone with you to help you do it?
My wife. I've been married for 15 years. Before I met my wife, dude, I was bad. And I probably wouldn't still be around if I hadn't met my wife.
As the man continued speaking, his tone grew more erratic. He began asking Todd personal questions: who he was, why he was camping, and what he was doing out there. Todd tried to stay composed, but something about the man's presence made his chest tighten. It wasn't just the words. It was the sense that the man wasn't all there, that something was terribly wrong. Every question the man asked felt like a deeper invasion into Todd's sense of safety. There was an instability in the air, something unpredictable that Todd couldn't put his finger on. Then, the stranger asked Todd to borrow his phone so he could send a text to his family.
That way. Or if they call. Good meeting you, brother.
At that moment, the heavy, uneasy feeling in Todd's chest solidified into a clear understanding. This man was not just strange, he was dangerous. With shaking hands, the man fumbled with the phone, his posture contorted and bent in an almost unnatural way. He murmured to himself as he typed, his thoughts fragmented and his speech disjointed. It felt like an eternity as Todd watched, every muscle in his body tense with fear. Nearly 20 minutes later, the man finally stood up, gave Todd's camp one last lingering stare, and wandered off into the darkness, still mumbling to himself as he disappeared into the night.
So he just left. I'm packing up my stuff and I'm getting out of here. We talked for a while. He seems like a good guy, but there's no way I'm staying here now. No way. I'll check back in once I get packed up. He came back again while I was packing up. Just showed me some little fan, rechargeable fan thing he had. It was really small. It's kind of neat. But I can see him walking down the highway now. I'm getting out of here. We'll talk more once I get somewhere I feel safe.
Todd wasted no time. He immediately began packing up, knowing he couldn't stay there any longer. The man knew exactly where he was, and there was no way Todd could risk staying in that spot now. But just as he was finishing, the stranger returned one more time. This time, it was brief. The man said goodbye, casually showing Todd a tiny handheld fan he was carrying, as though nothing was wrong. After he left, Todd let out a nervous sigh and spoke to the camera. He admitted he felt a bit of sympathy for the man. After all, he seemed troubled, lost, and confused. Todd even offered him something to eat, but the man declined. Still, despite the compassion, Todd never let go of his knife. He kept it visible, making sure the stranger knew it was there, just in case. The encounter ended without violence, but the next day, Todd couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. He decided to look the man up online. What he discovered made his stomach drop.
Because since that happened, I was actually able to look the guy up, and I found some charges from last month where he was arrested. So I'm thinking he probably had just gotten out of jail and was wandering around. He may not be completely homeless, I don't know. But he told me he had PTSD, and then sometimes he didn't know what he was doing, like he would lose control, thinking he was in war. Said he'd been banned from Walmart for having episodes in there, so it's like I couldn't, I really didn't want to be out there with him if he goes into one of these episodes. I have no idea if any of that was true or not. All I can do is take him on his word, you know?
Whatever Todd found confirmed just how dangerous that encounter could have been. It was a chilling reminder of how unpredictable and unnerving the wilderness could be. Todd had left just in time, but the experience stayed with him, a terrifying lesson learned. When you're stealth camping, even the most peaceful nights can quickly turn into something far darker. You never truly know who might walk into your camp or what state of mind they might be in. And with that, we now move to Carl, whose peaceful retreat into the woods turns into an investigation of who, or what, destroyed his cabin and why. Welcome to the Woods UK is a YouTube channel where Carl, the creator, shares his passion for wild camping and bushcraft. His videos typically offer a serene and reflective look at the British wilderness, where he finds peace and solitude. However, on February 26, 2024, that tranquility would be shattered. What began as a routine visit to his cabin project in the woods would soon turn into a nightmare.
Glad I caught that on video, to be honest with you, and had I not been out hunting with my catapult, I probably wouldn't have come through here. I was just coming through just to check on things. I know there's a lot of deer in these woods. I did have one creepy night back in January, hence why I was building the cabin. There's a lot of strange things that happen in here. To be honest with you, that doesn't look like a lot of work that's laying on the floor there, but back at the yard, 50, 60 pallets out in the rain, breaking them down with a pallet breaker, denailing them, getting everything cut to size ready to bring in, because everything's been manually brought in by hand. It's just been on the shoulder and brought in. So
when Carl arrived, his beloved cabin, built from hand-broken pallets and carefully crafted over time, was destroyed beyond recognition. Shock turned to disbelief as he stood there, unable to comprehend who or what could have done this. Desperate for answers, Carl decided to review footage from the 6 trail cameras he had set up around the area.
I'm absolutely shattered. I spent most of yesterday night looking through trail cam footage. Cameras 1 to 6 that are out in that woodland have been brought in, and yesterday evening I spent from about 8 o'clock all the way to early hours sifting through from camera 1 to camera 6.
After hours of scanning through wildlife footage, Carl found something disturbing. Two separate clips revealed a shadowy figure lurking around his cabin. One clip showed a dark figure at night, while another showed someone in camouflage during the day. With the landowner confirming no one else had permission to be on the property, the situation became increasingly unnerving. Determined to find the truth, Carl packed up and ventured back into the woods.
It's got darker a lot quicker than what I thought it would, and it's drawn in pitch black, inky black. I'm almost on top of the site. of cabin number 2. That is where cabin number 2 is, or was, should I say. You should all remember, it should be put together by now. I was proper agitated that someone's done this to that.
As nightfall approached, Carl made his way back to the wrecked cabin, the agitation of the situation pushing him forward. But then, out of the silence, a sharp sound cut through the air, the unmistakable sound of wood cracking, as if someone was chopping with an axe nearby.
I don't know if you can hear it. I didn't see anything, but I could hear like wood splitting, like as in like someone chopping wood, like with an axe or something. Right, okay. I don't think that's got anything to do with poachers, that noise. That's pretty much what happened to me last January.
Fear overwhelmed him, and he retreated, deciding to return the next day with a stronger resolve.
So I'm basically going to be setting up my OEX tent right here where you see now. I have got a little gadget to set up as well tonight, just so that I can sleep a little bit better.
This time, Carl set up camp near his destroyed cabin, preparing for a longer stay. He rigged a perimeter alarm, a tripwire connected to a loud gate alarm, to ensure he would be alerted to any intruders.
So this is the little gadget I'm going to be using tonight to let me know if there's anyone about after dark. It's basically a gate alarm that farmers use. It's a 1-inch cartridge, 12 bore, non-lethal. There's no way it can hurt anyone unless you actually put your face to it, which in that case there's a little plate that covers it over. I'm going to strap that to a tree and then run a trip line all the way around the immediate vicinity of my camp at about waist height. If that pin gets pulled from there because of the trip line being activated, this will let a charge off and it will hopefully either scare away whatever it is that's creeping about and it will wake me up. So that's it, all set. If this is pulled out, that will release this trigger, which will then fall down onto the cartridge and make a loud bang. I'm now going to trace this around the trees at about waist height and then completely activate this during the night time.
As the night wore on and heavy rain started to pour, Carl settled into his tent. The tension in the air was palpable, and soon an eerie sound broke the silence.
I've not got a clue what that noise was. There's about 8 different noises, sound like someone was walking around about 40 yards away. I had no bang off of the alarm, but definitely a banging in the woods.
He was left frozen in his tent, listening. The tripwire remained silent, meaning whatever was out there was keeping its distance, circling just beyond his defenses. Was it the mysterious figure from the trail cam, now watching him from the shadows? The question of who destroyed his cabin and who lurks in those woods remains unanswered. While our creator's courage is undeniable, his experience is a terrifying reminder that when you step into the wilderness, you can never be entirely sure what's stepping in there with you. Carl's search for answers in the woods leads us now to Sam, whose dream of owning a secluded property quickly turns into a nightmare when he hears a scream that will change everything. Sam, the creator behind the Northwest Wind, is known for his solo camping adventures and the calming presence he brings to the wilderness. His videos typically focus on the quiet beauty of nature and the peaceful solitude he finds in the woods. But in early November, during a trip to a remote property along the Allegheny River, everything Sam thought he knew about the outdoors would be turned upside down.
It's the first few days of November. It's like 42 degrees and sprinkling on and off today. We're here on the banks of the Allegheny River, and I have to decide if I want to buy this property or not. They have accepted my offer. Well, not formally, but they said they would accept it if I want to move forward. So don't tell them, but I'm gonna camp here tonight and see if this feels like home. So we're gonna camp here tonight, and I'm gonna decide if this is gonna be the land that I've been looking to purchase along the Allegheny River for the last 15 years. That's been my dream, and we're gonna see if I wanna make that dream a reality now or wait for something better. That says it all.
Sam had been dreaming of purchasing this secluded 2-acre property for over 15 years, and now, with a deadline looming, he had the opportunity to make that dream a reality. To help make his decision, he decided to camp on the land for the night and get a feel for the place. As he set up his camp, however, an unsettling feeling began to grow inside him. The land was stunning, a peaceful river running through the trees, but something about it felt off. The space seemed smaller than he had imagined, and despite the beauty, a quiet sense of unease crept over him.
Tonight we're having jalapeno poppers. These are from Aldi, cream cheese jalapeno poppers. I absolutely love these. I will eat the whole box, and tonight I'm gonna eat the whole box. So, well, it was impromptu and unexpected, but I will never complain about eating another delicious meal on the shores of the Allegheny River, and I'm privileged to do so tonight. Even if I'm pretty convinced that I am not gonna buy this land. I'm picky and I haven't found anything that is hitting home.
After preparing a simple meal and taking in the sunset, Sam retreated to his truck for the night, planning to settle in, relax, and make his final decision come morning. But as the night stretched on, the woods began to reveal a much darker side. The silence of the forest grew oppressive, and the usual sounds of nature seemed to fade away. The air felt thicker, and a strange tension hung in the air.
There's a really up noise coming from the woods right now. It sounds like a woman screaming. I was sitting in my front seat with the heated seat on, warming up. It's been dark for a long time now, and it sounds like a woman screaming. Listen, I don't know what the hell that was, but that has me absolutely terrified. I'm not lying.
While sitting in his truck, trying to shake off the growing sense of discomfort, Sam heard something that made his blood run cold. A woman's scream echoed through the night, a scream full of raw terror and distress. This was no animal cry. It was a human scream. His heart raced and a rush of fear flooded his body. He grabbed his camera, instinctively wanting to record, but deep down he knew he needed to leave. The feeling of impending danger was overwhelming, and he knew fear would soon consume him if he didn't act quickly.
All right, we're getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. Don't like the feeling that I have. I don't like that feeling at all, so we're gonna go. We're just getting out of here. Feel very unsafe right now. Very, very unsafe. And I can't just peel out of here. I gotta come down this half mountain road. So if I need to get out of here in a pinch, I can't.
The problem was, there was only one way out. A narrow, winding, single-lane road. It was the kind of road that felt like it led into nowhere. The isolation was deafening. He felt trapped, like he was in a horror movie where escape wasn't an option. His mind raced, and his instincts screamed that something was terribly wrong. The woods, once calm and inviting, now felt like a place of impending danger.
And I had to switch back to get in here. I'm head in, so I literally can't get out if I need to. I can't see anything. I don't even want to have my window open in case of any Gibraltars out there. Let's get me the out of here. And we're gonna, I don't know what the nope, not doing it, not doing it. That was a lady screaming. My doors are locked. I'm 100% sure of that. I don't even want to open my doors though. Somebody was walking down here, and it sounded like the woman screaming. Somebody was walking just beyond it.
Sam's thoughts raced, and he was convinced the scream had been a cry for help. But who or what could be out there in the woods, in this desolate area, calling for help? His heart pounded in his chest as he made the decision to call the police, hoping they would be able to help him understand what was happening. He had to get out of there before whatever it was reached him.
Yeah, hi. I'm out in there's a property for sale. I'm truck camping up there because I'm supposed to let them know tomorrow if I want to buy it. And I all of a sudden heard this blood scream like 50 times.
Within minutes, 2 police cruisers arrived, their flashing lights cutting through the darkness. The officers were serious, focused, their every movement sending waves of anxiety through Sam's body. They asked a few questions, just confirming that Sam was okay before following him down the winding road, back to the property. The officers were here for something bigger than just a routine check.
I'm gonna leave my truck on, actually. This is it's fine. I'm just gonna stay here with my light. Yeah, we're ready to go. They're checking out this cabin and it's making me extremely nervous.
Once they reached the property, the officers drew their weapons and began searching the area. Sam sat frozen in his truck, his heart racing as he watched from a distance. His mind raced with questions. What was out there? What had made that scream? Was it someone in need, or was something more sinister at play? The officers moved with purpose, their every step measured as they combed through the darkened woods, searching for clues.
You want me to wait, or what should I do? Okay, well, I'm gonna. Okay, well, be safe, and I wouldn't feel right if I didn't call, so whether it's nothing or something, be safe, and I just, Thanks, brother. Have a good night. Be safe. I literally have no words for everything that went down this evening. I'm about halfway home. I just stopped to get gas and kind of decompress for a few minutes. My nerves are absolutely shot. I can't really add anything more to the video than what you saw and everything I described. Those police officers did seem very on guard and suspicious, not only of me, but of the situation over there. And after talking with Jessica, I just was not in the right frame of mind to understand why I felt that way.
After what felt like hours, the officers returned to Sam's truck. They told him they had found another house deeper in the woods, a place that wasn't listed or marked on any maps. They were heading there next, and as they left, they told Sam he was free to leave. He didn't need to be told twice. The encounter had left him shaken to the core, far from the clarity he had hoped to find when he first arrived. The questions about the woman's scream and what the officers had uncovered remained unanswered, and Sam left the woods with more questions than when he had come. It was a chilling mystery that would haunt him for a long time. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.